Good afternoon, it's Frank Giaquinto, pizza maker. We're here in Ruts Country Market at Noma's Pizza Stand, Manheim, Pennsylvania. We're just talking a little bit about pizza history and different places that I've been over the years. Later on, I don't know if it'll be on the video or not, I'll make a couple of pizzas, which you've seen on videos before. Just talk about where I came from. I was born in the Bronx as a little boy. My oldest brother, Vincent, he had a very close friend that my brother John recently talked to this past year, Louis Fader. Hello, Louis, if you see this. Louis Fader came from Italy. 5 brothers. They had 5 Brothers Pizzeria in the Bronx. And we used to go there for a slice and a drink and Italian ice way back when, 15 cents a slice. He never charged us anyway. The families became friends. Vincent went in business, worked with him a lot of places in Yonkers, Central Avenue, and different places, and stayed friends till Vincent passed away in 1997. So I guess their friendship went on about 35 or 40 years. So retired, he became a pizzeria owner, very good pizza maker, many years experience. Had a twin brother and some other brothers. I think they passed away. But they were a pizza making friend. Back then in the Bronx, one of the suppliers were Sassone, Ralph Sassone. I don't know if that family's still around or still alive. They were the Italian importers and supplied the pizzerias with the pizzerias and restaurants back in those days in the 50s. So where my dad had a place. Then in 1962 the family moved to Long Island. And then I was a young fella, but if you were in the pizzeria business in the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, anywhere on Long Island, between going around as a truck driver's helper and riding around as a young teenager and whatever, and working in different pizzerias. If you had a pizzeria in them days, I'd been in it. I'd go around collecting menus and buying slices of pizza in them days. And whenever I saw a new place, I always went in. And nowadays, when you see a new place, it's somebody that's already been an operator. So I've seen many, many different techniques and different pizzerias in my day. Like I said in my last video, one of the finest pizza makers I ever met, Roberto. I met him in late 80s in Northport, Long Island on 25A, Tony's Pizza. We had 6 ovens there. Worked side by side with Roberto. The owner was the Samuels family, Craig Samuels. He must be about 10 years older than me right now. I understand the family is in the pizza business in North Carolina. Hello, Craig. Good boss, generous boss. Anyway, Roberto, he wound up buying that place, kept it for 10 years and retired. I knew him as Bobby. Fantastic pizza maker. One of the finest I ever saw. Quick, could really spin a pizza nice, fantastic worker. I enjoyed working with him very much. Like to see him one day. And then I came to Long Island, then I came to Pennsylvania, and I met my friend Sam Cadato, his father, in 1990. I worked side by side with him for about a year. Great guy. He also used float the pizza sauce, which they still do today. They make a really nice pizza. I don't have the name of it, but when I was in Florida in June, a little pizza stand where the young pizza maker was telling me the flour came from Italy and all the different things. They made miniature pies. San Marzano tomatoes, fresh mozzarella. They used the oil can, put a little olive oil on it. Gave me a pizza. It was very, very tasty. Next time I'll try to search for the menu and I could bring the name of it. It was in a local mall in Florida, in Boca Raton. It was really, really good. So I enjoyed that.
Was it a wood-fired pizza?
Yeah, I believe it was, yeah. It was very good. I also ate Umberto's, famous Umberto's from Long Island, New Hyde Park. I believe they opened in 65. Umberto must be in his 70s. At least a dozen places on Long Island, but New Hyde Park, I guess, would be the strongest. Jericho Turnpike. Got to know him, worked for him a little bit. Also worked in King Umberto in Elmont and Hempstead Turnpike. Different Umberto restaurants. And he had 4 places in Florida. I ate in one in Boca Raton, said Umberto's of Long Island. Really good pizza. I made some pizzas there while I was there. A couple of fellas that worked there 10 years, they met the boss only once. I saw his picture on the wall. I told him I knew your boss, I worked for him. They get the water shipped in from New York, bottled water, and really good pizza, identical to what they made in Long Island. Yeah, very successful place. Simple menu, nice. So, I've had good pizza in New Jersey, Connecticut, been to Frank Pepe's and Rizzo, Astoria, Queens. So many different places that I've been in the PMQ magazine over the years. Borelli's, I remember making food delivery there. Borelli's in East Meadow, Long Island. 3 brothers. As a matter of fact, my wife went to school with a couple of the sons. Borelli's is on Hempstead Turnpike and Merrick Avenue in East Meadow. They've been in business since 1955, same family. Big givers, always helping all kinds of organizations. Generous people. I remember making deliveries there on a Saturday, and skids and skids, cases and cases of tomatoes and pizza sauce, a few hundred cases at a time. 100 5-gallon tins of oil at a time going to Borelli's. Yeah, very successful place. Yeah. At one time there was a small hamburger place that made no business, and Borelli's came along and opened it up, and the rest is history. They're still there, but located very convenient to Hofstra College and Nassau Coliseum. So we've been there. Worked a lot in Queens, New York, near Kennedy Airport, Kew Gardens, Forest Hills, Yellowstone Boulevard, Al Dente, Mike's Pizzeria, the Benedetto family, Woodhaven Boulevard and Jamaica Avenue, Aldo, 101st Avenue. Yeah, I said hello to Aldo last time. He went in business in '62. Before that, he was a young pizza maker at New Park Pizza, Aldo. Yeah, what was that? On Cross Bay Boulevard in Howard Beach. That's where he learned. So I worked for him in '74. Another place he opened, the Rockville Center. He'll remember that. Aldo's in Ozone Park. Great, great fried calzones. They don't open up. Great. Aldo's accommodated Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro. A lot of them sat in Aldo's place and ate pizza and had beer and dinners and whatever. I think it's been on TV, or it's definitely been in the PMQ magazine. So Aldo must be in his 70s. His son-in-law's been with him for over 30 years. Nice family. His brother-in-law's name is Dominic. Yeah. I don't think it exists anymore, but I worked for Venice in Baldwin on Merrick Road. They had an original, that was in the 70s, they had an original coal-fired oven. Must have been from a bakery or something way back when. That I'm not too sure about the history of that. As I mentioned before, my dad worked in the 30s, I think 1934, 35. I guess he must have been in his early 20s. He worked for the original Patsy's, which is still there. Yeah.
What did he tell you about, or he didn't tell you about working there, what it was like? Or did he tell your brothers?
I don't know much about that. I just know that from the family.
Okay.
I've never been, and I don't think I've ever been in Patsy's. I plan on going this fall. I hope to visit there. My friends, the Romano brothers, they go there. My friend has a shirt there. I told my friend that my dad worked there. I think that's the place where my dad had the pizza peel that you put 3 large pies on it. Yeah, which I never saw that. I've never seen it since. I did have one with 2 pies on it. But like I've mentioned before, I can't imagine how heavy it would be to handle that pizza peel with 3 large pizzas on it and get them all in the oven properly and round.
Right. What kind of ovens did like your father and your grandfather used back then to bake the pizzas? That's what I'm interested in.
My dad was the original owner of Baker's Pride, they tell me. And that's what my dad had, Baker's Pride. As a matter of fact, that picture of me in the 60s when I started with those 2 deck ovens, they were 6-pie ovens, one with the long door that you see what they call nowadays as a Y600 Baker's Pride. That was the long door. And we had my father's oven that my father had in the 50s. We took that with us, with that on top. So that was, believe it or not, little doors, but that was also a 6-pie oven. Many a times I baked 6 16-inch pizzas into that oven. All my brothers did that. 4 brothers, Vincent, John, James, and myself. Vincent passed away, but John is 70, he's retired. James also retired, part-time, drives seniors around, but all the brothers were involved in Giovini Pizza in West Hempstead in the 60s. Yeah. We sold large pie for $1.50. So, yeah. After that, I worked in Garden City, Long Island, East Meadow, Merrick, Well, practically every town in Long Island. And I visited whenever a new pizzeria would open, I visited. Like I mentioned before, besides working in the family pizzerias, I was a truck driver's helper for Anthony and Sons Dairy, Cremosa Cheese. That original family started in Elmont, Long Island as a wholesaler. Then they moved to a big fancy place in Freeport in the 60s. Since then, I guess they all went their own ways. Some of them died, whatever. I think the company still exists, Cremosa Cheese label.
How did the cheeses change over there, the mozzarellas?
Has the cheese changed over the
Yeah.
years is the question. I don't think so. But many, I don't know, 50 or 70 years, a lot of people dealt with that I liked. Most people that dealt with the oil cans, with the pizza with oil, most of them dealt with C&F Dairy at Ozone Park. Clem was the son's name. The father died a few years ago. Clem must be my age or better. He knew me. And they moved to a place in Syosset. My friends bought them off them for years. My friends nowadays deal with La Rosa Foods. Sal and his brother, they know me. They were at the La Rosa Foods in Levittown, Long Island. They were actually the sponsor of the 1990 May 6th Pizza Fair pizza convention or pizza show, where I won the award for the fastest pizza maker on Long Island. Sal La Rosa was there. He'll remember me. Woolcock Road, I think, off of Hempstead Turnpike in Levittown, is still there. My friends Louis and George Mayola, that I know 35 years, they're in Massapequa and Syosset, Long Island, successful pizzeria restaurants. They buy from La Rosa. Another place they opened in the different part of Massapequa, they buy it. A lot of Louis and George's friends buy from La Rosa. My friend Frank Clara from Ciro's. Well, we all originally worked for Ciro Cimino on Jericho Turnpike in Floral Park. That was in the 70s. And Louis, George, and Frank, they bought it in 82. Then they expanded on their own in 87. So they've been in business, I guess, 32 years. I hope to see them next month. That'd be nice.
What pizzerias are you going to visit next month, Frank?
Well, I'll be visiting Phil's in Massapequa, Phil's in Syosset, the Mayola brothers. I plan on going to Patsy's with my friend, the Romano brothers. My brother's going to take me to a couple places I've never been to. I think in Wanto or Seaford, Long Island. So I'll gather at least a half a dozen or a dozen menus from different places that I've known over the years. As a boy, I liked Gino's in Lynbrook. They have several locations. They've been in business since 1960. Very clean place, nice. Slices and Italian ices and soda. At one time, all they served, very similar to Rizzo's and Astoria and Sal and Carmine's. In the old days, there were many places called slice joints. What's that guy? He had a little hole in the wall, a slice joint. And all they served, and they made a good living, all they served was pizza and soda and Italian ices. No sandwiches, no pasta, no nothing. Not even no toppings, unless you bought a pie with a topping on top. But pizza and soda all day long. A lot of those places, that open window, you just stand there and get a slice and a drink and go. Yeah, basically it was 15 for the slice and 10 cents for the drink. That was a quarter. And they made a good living. Aldo in Ozone Park, 62, he started $1 a pie. Yeah, he's still reasonable for New York. He's like $12 or $13, which is very cheap in New York. That's cheaper than some guys around here. Yeah, so I think with the dough, the water is a secret. That's why we don't have any good authentic bagels in our area. Yeah, the water has to do to make the crust crispy of the dough. Right. Well, we have some nice pizza here. Like I said, my favorite, one of my favorites is Pizza City in Strasbourg. Gadaldo family, 34 years there. Yeah, very nice pizza. I try to go there a few times a month. Might even work for Sam a little bit part-time again. We'll see. Check it out if he needs help.
Tell me something about those fish ovens you told me about years ago they used. Like that's, I never heard of them.
First time I worked with the fish oven, I've seen them in bakeries from when I was a little boy. But when Sbarro's was big and strong, Sbarro's was the first one to get into dressed up slices and slices with all different kinds of toppings. Back in the day, just mostly in malls. extremely exclusive busy mall on Long Island, Roosevelt Field,